Imagine a city where power meant everything. A place where battles weren't just fought on the battlefield, but in the halls of power. This was Rome. And today we're diving into the epic wars that made her rise to glory and the crushing battles that led to her fall. Make sure you stay until the end, because this story has more twists, betrayals, and high-stakes drama than you can imagine. Love unraveling the secrets of history? Hit that like button and subscribe, because these aren't just battles, they're stories that defined the world. Let's go back to the year 264 BCE, where Rome and Carthage are locked in a deadly stare-off across the Mediterranean Sea. Two young empires, one massive prize, control of the ancient world. Our story starts with the Punic Wars, a series of brutal conflicts with Carthage that would shape Rome's destiny. At stake, the future of the Mediterranean. The first conflict erupts over Sicily. Rome, inexperienced in naval warfare, builds an entire navy from scratch, risking everything to take on Carthage at sea. Against all odds, they triumph. Sicily falls to Rome, but both sides know this was only round one. Now, picture this. A Carthaginian general named Hannibal, a master of psychological warfare, decides to invade Rome's own territory. But how? By crossing the Alps with an army and elephants. In the infamous Battle of Cannae, he crushes nearly 50,000 Roman soldiers. It's one of Rome's darkest hours. Think about this. If Hannibal had succeeded, the entire history of the West might have been different. Do you think Rome's resilience saved the world as we know it? Let me know in the comments. After years of grueling conflict, Rome had one goal: end Carthage for good. In the Third Punic War, they razed Carthage to the ground, sowing salt into the soil so that nothing could grow. Rome now holds the Mediterranean, but this level of ruthlessness would not be easily forgotten. But with Carthage defeated, a new enemy emerged, one they didn't expect, and it was much closer to home. Rome had conquered her enemies, but could she conquer herself? Power was shifting, alliances were breaking, and in the center of the storm were two names that still echo today: Julius Caesar and Pompey the Great. In 49 BCE, the rivalry between Caesar and Pompey hit a breaking point. For Caesar, this wasn't just a fight, it was the fate of Rome. Would it remain a republic, or would it fall into the hands of a single ruler? Julius Caesar took his army across the Rubicon, an act of war against Rome itself. The die is cast, he declared as he stepped into a showdown with Pompey. What would you do? Would you stand by Caesar, risking everything for power? Or would you hold to the old ways like Pompey? Drop your thoughts below. In 48 BCE, Pompey's army outnumbered Caesar's 2-1, but Caesar's men fought with fierce loyalty. In a shocking twist, Caesar's smaller force won, crushing Pompey and putting an end to the Roman Republic. But Caesar's fate was far from secure. Caesar's triumph was short-lived. Fearing he'd crown himself king, the Senate turned on him. In 44 BCE, Caesar was assassinated by his closest allies. His death threw Rome into chaos and sparked yet another civil war. Rome's troubles were only beginning. If civil war was bad, their next battles would be catastrophic. Fresh off the chaos of Caesar's assassination, Rome turned its sights eastward. But what they found in the Parthian Empire would be a disaster of epic proportions. In 53 BCE, Crassus, one of Rome's wealthiest and most ambitious leaders, sought to expand Rome's borders into Parthia. But his lust for glory led him and 20,000 Roman soldiers straight into a death trap. Crassus marched his troops into the blazing deserts of Parthia. They faced a brutal ambush. Parthian archers, who could fire arrows at full speed from horseback, decimated the Roman lines. It was an utter bloodbath. The defeat at Carrhae sent shockwaves through Rome. The ambitious dream of an empire stretching from the Atlantic to the Persian Gulf was shattered. It's said that this loss sparked Rome's obsession with strong leadership to avoid future failures. What do you think? Did Rome's reaction to Carrhae make them stronger, or set them on the path to collapse? Rome had faced Hannibal and the Parthians, but they would soon find their toughest battles not against rival empires, but in the dark forests of Germania. In 9 AD, 3 Roman legions marched into the Teutoburg forest. They were lured in by Arminius, a trusted ally, or so they thought. As Varus led the Roman legions deeper into Germanic territory, Arminius revealed his betrayal. From the trees and underbrush, Germanic warriors emerged, slaughtering nearly 20,000 Roman soldiers in a brutal ambush. This battle changed everything. While Rome would avenge the defeat, Teutoburg marked the end of their northern expansion. The forests of Germania would remain out of reach. Rome would be haunted by this defeat, but there was one more threat, one they never anticipated, and it would come from within. As Rome's glory faded, new threats emerged. The empire's borders were strained, its leadership weakened, and in 410 AD, an unlikely force would strike fear into the heart of Rome itself. The Goths, led by King Alaric, took advantage of Rome's vulnerability. No one imagined that the Eternal City, a symbol of power for over a millennium, could fall to these so-called barbarians. Alaric's army entered Rome, sacking and looting the city in a shocking display of Rome's decline. The unthinkable had happened. Rome, once invincible, lay in ruins. Alaric's sack symbolized the beginning of the end. Though the Eastern Empire, Byzantium, would endure, the Western Roman Empire crumbled, leaving a legacy of warfare, politics, and cultural achievements. Rome's story, born in conquest and undone by war, is a reminder of how empires rise and fall. So what do you think? Did Rome's endless battles make her stronger, or ultimately destroy her? Let us know in the comments. And if you're hungry for more epic histories, hit that subscribe button. The next story might just be your new favorite.